TikTok has become a haven of many dropshipping gurus. So you're going to find a whole lot of gurus on TikTok who are trying to give you advice on how to get started with Shopify dropshipping. And some of them will actually find out that they're going to show you their journey in terms of how they got started with Shopify dropshipping. And they're at the end, they're going to ask you maybe to follow their page or maybe DM them so that you can learn a little bit more. So some of them at the end of it, all they want to sell a course to you. So we're going to take a look at these dropshipping gurus and see if you can implement these advices that they're offering into your Shopify dropshipping store. 3 Shopify hacks that helped him make $2 million in the first year. So let's take a look and see if this is actually realistic and if it actually makes sense. Okay, so the first one, it says make sure you are in the top 4 Google shopping results. Now, to make it clear, it's very hard for you to rank as the first or the second or up to the fourth store on Google Shopping, because there are two ways to go about this. You can either do this using SEO, which is search engine optimization, or you can do the Google Ads route. So if you're doing the SEO route, it normally takes 6 to 8 months for your store or for your website to start even ranking for certain keywords on Google. Like this keyword here, we have the laser hair. So if you want to start ranking for such a keyword, you need 6 to 8 months. It means you'll have to burn 6 months of paying subscription for you to start ranking on this keyword. And again, you'll not be ranking for this keyword just by placing your products into your website. You need to do some content marketing, which is a whole lot in terms of advertising your business, because you need to start building out your blog. You need to start creating articles and content for you to start ranking for that specific keyword. So this does not really apply if you want to go the SEO route, because you have to incorporate content marketing, which is really hard. Then the other one is the Google Ads. So if you want to do the PPC, that is pay per click. Now remember, this one is also very expensive. Since this is e-commerce, the cost per click for certain keywords on Google are very expensive, because you're competing with a whole lot of brands. Competing with these huge brands is going to run your bank dry, because these guys are willing to pay up to $10 per click. They'll get the $10 back once they do the upsells, once they do the bundles. But for you, if you are just starting a new dropshipping store and you want to pay $10 per click to compete with these huge brands, then you'll not be able to get profits, because you'll spend a lot and this is going to eat into your advertising budget, which is very minimal for a beginner dropshipper. So this one here does not really cut it, because it's really hard for you to rank on Google on either of those two ways. So the next one is copy exactly what Jeff Bezos is doing. So if you want to compare an upcoming dropshipping store to Jeff Bezos, remember Amazon started in the late 1990s, yeah, and for a store such as Amazon to start in the late 1990s, there wasn't a lot of competition back then. If there was competition, it was very minimal. But for you to start a store right now and you want to compare it with Amazon, remember Amazon, they've been making losses for the longest, because their model was reinvest anything that you gain from any sale and focus on growing. For a new dropshipping store, I don't believe there's any beginner dropshipper who wants to start a Shopify dropshipping business to start losing money right off of the gate in the hope of maybe being as big or as Amazon, or maybe copying into the footsteps of Amazon. So remember also, Amazon had investors and people who had shares into Amazon, and they were willing maybe to spend money for the brand to grow, because the goal here was, in the long run, their shares will increase in price. The percentage they owned on Amazon would increase in value with time as Amazon continued to grow. So this is not really relatable to a beginner dropshipping store, because for you need to make a profit for every commodity you sell. Somebody who's just started a Shopify dropshipping store is not really ready to lose money in the sense of maybe growing the business for maybe selling the business later on, it's not really in the cut. So that as well does not make the cut. So you don't want to go the Amazon route. You want to maximize the profitability of your Shopify dropshipping store and make a profit every single time you make a sale. The next one here is, he says you need to use an AI software to generate descriptions for your product. Now remember, if you're going to use an AI tool, it's going to pick up relatable words. It's going to scrape the internet or scrape any website in the internet and get relatable keywords or relatable phrases that correlate to the product you're selling. So how is this going to impact your description? Because since it's picking any relatable word from the internet that is related to the product you're selling, it's not going to get the exact word that you definitely need, because a rephrased word or a similar word to something may not directly mean what your product actually does. So this is going to create a scenario whereby when people land on your product page and read out the description that you got from an AI website or from an AI tool, they're going to read out the description and it's not going to actually make sense for them, because sometimes what is generated by these AI softwares is not exactly what you want to actually come out as the meaning of what your product does. So what I can say, you need to actually do the descriptions on your own. Since you're the one who understands the product, you're the one who understands the core values of your Shopify dropshipping store, you need to actually do the descriptions on your own so that you can capture all the pain points that the customer needs to see, and also all the pain points that this product is actually going to solve for the customer, so that once they do come to your Shopify dropshipping website, they can actually see that the product is going to be of value to them and the product is going to help them out, and this is going to convince them to actually make a purchase. So I wouldn't say that you need to go with this route of getting your product descriptions generated by an AI tool. And again, if you're getting these products from AliExpress is going to actually offer some descriptions, though you need to edit them a little bit and add some good images so that the product description actually stands out, so that when the customer comes to a Shopify dropshipping store, he or she is able to make the actual purchase. So that is my review of this. So I would say, yes, you can use this advice, but you need to actually dig into this advice a little bit more so that you can know what works out for you and what does not work out for you. You can start an e-commerce business or a dropshipping business using catalyst.com. So check out catalyst.com, link in the description, for absolutely free for the first 7 days.